At some point along the way, as you learn about bonsai, you're going to get a chance to put your tree in a bonsai show. I strongly encourage you to do it. It's quite the thrill to see your tree all lit up in a show along with other trees. But you're going to need to be prepared, as I found out, because this weekend when I placed my tree in a show, it's not as simple as just showing up and plopping your tree down on the table. There's a bunch of factors you need to take into consideration. Let's take a look. In a classic bonsai display, the tree is the central element, of course. I mean, it's the star of the show. But there's a couple other things you're going to have with it. So let's take a look at the three elements. The first, of course, is your tree. The second is a companion plant. It can also be a rock or a figurine. And third, on the wall behind these two, is a hanging scroll. But before we look at each of these elements, it's important to understand that you're going to be creating a theme here, or look at it this way, you're composing a poem. What's the season you're portraying? Is it winter, summer, spring, fall? What's the mood you're going to create? Think about all this, and it's set in your mind. It's going to be a lot easier for you to figure out the other elements and put them all together so it's a cohesive look and it draws the viewer in. Hey, so we got to start with the star of the show. Let's focus on the tree. What kind of pot are you going to put it in? Well, I don't like to put my trees into pots that overpower the tree, like a really colorful one or one with words written on it. You want the viewer looking at your tree, not the pot. Your pot is placed on a stand called a dai. The stand serves two functions. First of all, it raises the tree up a little higher so it's eye level and the viewer doesn't have to bend down to get a good look at the tree. And second, the design and material of the pot should go with the theme and mood you've decided to convey. The dai should be an inch or two wider than the pot. Just like with your pots, avoid using a stand that is too ornate or colorful. You don't want people looking at the stand either. Simple is best, guys. Sometimes less is more. Your bonsai tree isn't the only plant in this arrangement. It is accompanied by a companion plant, also known as kusamono. I'm hoping I pronounced that all right. They are composed of small flowering plants, grasses, and mosses, but can also include stones or figurines. The companion plant should be of the same climate and time of year that your tree is. I've seen some artists forego the plant arrangement and opt for a beautiful stone, or even a figurine. As long as the companion element tells the same story as your tree, it's perfectly fine to use these as well. The third element in this display format is a hanging scroll, called a kakejiku. Scrolls can be calligraphy or depict a scene. Again, stay in the same theme. If your tree is a tropical tree that normally lives like in a swamp or something, a scroll depicting a snowy landscape doesn't make any sense. At some point in the future, we can take a deeper dive into this. But for now, I want to leave you with this thought. Think of your display as a sentence. Your tree is the subject. The companion plant and the scroll are the what, where, and why. And the signature of the artist on the scroll is the period that ends the sentence. As always, thanks so much for listening in and following along. I'll talk to you soon.